Hey, Brit Kolo here, and I want to welcome you to the first installment of the Deep Dive Diaries, a series of articles, videos, and podcast episodes displaying the true power that happens within a deep dive session. As you might have guessed, within these sessions, we go deep. We dive into the core of who you are and work our way back up to the surface to align your marketing strategy with your core. And as I've been completing more and more of these sessions, I myself continue to be encouraged and empowered by the aha moments that happen within them. Time after time, my deep dive clients walk away feeling validated in who they are and more prepared to show up for their business in an authentic way, which in turn magnetizes them. Their potential clients are naturally attracted to that energy, as you might imagine, right? So why would I keep these stories from you? I wouldn't. I can't. They're really just too good to keep from you. So to kick things off, I would love for you to meet my friend Jordan Gill of the Kolada group. Jordan is an operations consultant, a true master of all things systems, workflows, and high efficiency. She's been building her premium level consultancy over the past few years and has now developed a self-guided program called Triple Threat to guide its entrepreneurial student through automating and organizing their three biggest time sucks: their calendar, their social media marketing, and their email inbox. Side note, can I get an amen for anything that'll automate and organize those three things? Yeah, amen. Okay, so Jordan and I first met in a one-day mastermind experience hosted by Kick-Ass Masterminds, during which she admitted she generally hates all things marketing and was craving a fresh approach to the entire thing. I sincerely credit Jordan for pushing me onto the path that eventually led to discovering and fully developing the deep dive session. It was her adamant dislike for marketing that opened my eyes to see what so many people were perceiving quote unquote marketing to be: inauthentic, salesy, contrived, not feel good, and which encouraged me to flip the script entirely. After the one-day mastermind, Jordan and I kept in touch through Instagram and direct messages back and forth. We had left a lasting impression on each other that day. I realized I needed to flip the script on marketing, and Jordan saw the potential in me to do just that. A few weeks later, once I had finally fully fleshed out the deep dive session, I invited Jordan to experience one. I figured if there was any chance this session wasn't going to work for someone, it'd be Jordan, the one who hated marketing, right? So this was the ultimate test. Okay, so here's what went down in Jordan's session. Prior to every deep dive, I send a questionnaire for the client to complete. This questionnaire asks open-ended questions about how the client naturally shows up in their life based on 5 key pillars. Number 1, personality type, according to the 16 personalities framework. Number 2, how they spend their time. Number 3, who influences them regularly. Number 4, moments in time they remember fondly. And number 5, what motivates them. As soon as we connected for our deep dive session, Jordan and I dove right into her answers to the questionnaire. We reviewed her answers openly, and I asked a few more clarifying questions to both get to know the real Jordan better and for Jordan to get connected to her true self. Through that conversation, we both began seeing strong patterns in Jordan's life. Overall, Jordan's answers were thorough, thoughtful, and mind-blowingly consistent. I'm telling you, this girl is the epitome of intentional. Being an operations consultant, she has a keen eye and desire to put things in order and make sense of complicated puzzles. Going deeper, we also found Jordan to have a genuine concern for others and a core desire to be in close relationship with those around her. Pairing these things together, we realized that putting things in order, she regained time in her schedule and therefore was able to enjoy her relationships and life more. And this truly lit Jordan up. This theme was so strong in her everyday life. And as we moved farther into the deep dive, I had Jordan pinpoint 5 core words that best described what she naturally upheld in her life. Not surprisingly, she found these 5 words to be at the core of who she is: excellence, self-awareness, efficiency, time freedom, and close relationship. Pretty, again, so intentional and so consistent. So now that we both knew Jordan better at this point, I began formulating a marketing strategy that would best utilize these natural core parts of her. First, I could decipher that Jordan is uniquely prepared to incorporate an affiliate or ambassador program into her strategy based on her personality type. She's also exceptionally poised to captivate her audience through spoken word. So leveraging speaking opportunities on stage and behind a microphone aligns with what feels good to her. These first 2 realizations made us both kind of chuckle a little bit, because Jordan's main strategy to launch Triple Threat, her new program, up until this point, has been to partner with affiliates and host joint venture webinars, while also loosely promoting the program on her podcast, System Saved Me. So she had already cued in to what would naturally feel good for her. Now, though, she felt validated in those strategies being the right ones for her. Next, I showed Jordan the true potential of her Triple Threat program. See, the program helps you automate and organize, which gives you back time, right? And by regaining time, you're finally able to create a close relationship with those you care about most, which is something that is so often lost when building a business, like Jordan's clients are. Now, here's where the aha moment happened. As I connected those dots for her, Jordan realized that up until this point, she was primarily focusing on showing people how much time would be saved, while not showing them how that regained time could translate into more time spent with those they loved most. And that's where the real value in this program lies, in the close relationship it allows you to foster. And for Jordan, knowing all we now know about her, it's going to feel really good to show her potential clients and customers how her program translates to closer, deeper relationships, something that she so naturally appreciates and desires at her core. I told you this stuff was good, right? So good. So the action plan. After the high of this realization, I could see and feel Jordan had a newfound sense of purpose. To take this positive energy and channel it into the best next steps, I outlined this plan for her. First of all, I encouraged her to continue utilizing joint venture webinars as a way to market Triple Threat, because it's an affiliate program model, right? And she's already going to be awesome at that. So I told her, as you do these for different audiences, cue into what relationship this audience is most apt to care about. Then show them how your program will give them more freedom to pursue, foster, and deepen that relationship. So for instance, in Jordan's case, if Jordan, if you're speaking to an audience of primarily females in their 30s and 40s, they have a business and they've owned it for maybe 5 years or longer, you can show how Triple Threat will give them the freedom to spend more time with their spouse and kids, of course, estimating that this will resonate with a majority of them. Okay, so number 2, the second thing I encouraged her to do was to continue utilizing her podcast as a way to speak about Triple Threat, because it showcases her natural, captivating voice and presence. And then I told her, then consider publishing interviews with your Triple Threat beta testers with a keen focus on drawing out the stories of how the program gave them the freedom to spend time with those they love most. And finally, number 3, I told her to form a closer relationship with those already in your loyal audience. Show them the real Jordan. Ideally, you would give your email list subscribers a unique and genuine look into who you are and the relationships you most treasure. This will help them realize how your offerings can foster relationships within their own lives. Okay, so that was some pretty powerful stuff, right? Now, here are some final thoughts on Jordan's deep dive experience. Now, Jordan has the validation and permission she needs to implement these subtle yet meaningful shifts in her messaging and how she presents Triple Threat to her audience in an effort to maximize its success while still feeling good in the process. And as a special treat, listen to Jordan herself describe her deep dive experience.
Hi, I'm Jordan Gill, head honcho of the Kolada group and host of the System Save Me podcast, and I just wanted to share my experience with the amazing Brit with our deep dive session. And I hated, I'll use past tense, marketing for the longest time because I just like it felt gross. It didn't fit me. I felt like it was one of those loose blazers that's like clearly your dad's from like the 1970s and you should never wear. That's how I felt like marketing was. And so Brit challenged me, and so I took her on in the deep dive and was like, okay, let me try this again, give it another shot. And I will say that this was some of the most aligning messages that I've gotten for my marketing, because again, I do systems and operations work. So I'm all workflows, efficiency, all that stuff. So I'm pretty hardcore, but at the same time, I really care about people. And the reason that my people come to me for systems is because they want to go, surprise their hubby with an awesome trip to Mexico, or they want to spend time picking up their kids from school every day. And I didn't recognize it, but the underlying message was put your systems in place so that you can spend time with who you want to spend time with. Not necessarily doing what, but my people are driven by the who. They want to spend time with friends, family, even clients. Like, the people are really the bottom line, and that's so in line and congruent with who I am as a person. I'm very relationships oriented, and so when we went through the different exercises and we really started to just like hone in on like, what are the patterns, what are the kind of thread, what's the thread through everything, and that systems equal relationships, which is 100% fits me to a T, and it's a message that I feel confident sharing. It's a message that I live. So it's so congruent. It doesn't even feel like marketing is this piece out here that doesn't fit. It fits because I am living proof of it, and my clients are living proof of it. And I didn't have a way of communicating that before, and now I do. So I'm super excited to go back. I've been like doing all this stuff to update my messaging around the Triple Threat, which is a program that I'm launching and doing JV webinars around. And again, I'm doing JV webinars because I love relationships, and Brit like totally supported me in moving forward with that way of marketing, because again, that's going to come naturally to me. It's going to be the easiest. It's going to feel the most good to me, which means a lot, because again, it used to feel gross. So yeah, I mean, Brit just helped me understand how to crystallize who I really am in a marketing message that feels good and fits me. So I'm so grateful for Brit. I loved the deep dive session and suggest it for anybody who just feels like marketing is icky, and that nothing they've tried so far marketing wise has actually fit them and makes them excited to go out there and share about their business. So if that is you, get yourself a deep dive.
Jordan, I can't thank you enough for recording that video testimonial and those words that you shared with my audience. Thank you so much for popping in here and offering that testimonial. Oh man, it means so much. And you guys, I encourage you to plug into Jordan and her upcoming Triple Threat program. I mean, who doesn't need more time to spend with people we love? Like, my goodness. Okay. So as Jordan told you, you can find her at thekoladagroup.com. You can also find her podcast at systemsavedme.com. And you can find her on Instagram at the Kolada Group. Now, Finally, let's deep dive. Okay. I want you to experience aha moments and breakthroughs just like Jordan has. So I want you to go to marketingthatfeelsgood.com to schedule your deep dive session. And I cannot wait to dive into this work with you. See you soon.